Hey y'all, it's me, the Irreverent Rhetorician.
Really, girl?
Okay, fine. How's this? Please, you're just another kind of delusion. Whatever do you mean?
Y'all, Wolf Trade, you're out. Gay Spicoli, you're in.
Hey y'all, it's me, the Irreverent Rhetorician, and we're mixing things up a bit this week.
Obvi.
Quoi? No, I mean, today we're gonna have a roundtable discussion. Here with me is my good friend, Billie Jean Kingdoll. Welcome, Billie Jean Kingdoll.
Thank you. I am happy to be here. But if you don't mind, I'd like to stay in my original packaging. You never know what a groundbreaking lesbian Barbie could be worth one day.
Totes. And this is my pal Josie. Hey, Jose.
Hey, Rhett. Glad to be here.
Gosh, Jose, no offense, but you kind of sound like a girl.
And you've never heard that before?
Totes. And let's see, who else is here? Well, aren't you adorable? You know, maybe you should be the Irreverent Rhetorician.
I don't know. Pasty Times at Ridgemont High does seem a better fit for you.
Truth.
I know, Daddy. I've made a show. My egg donor was an endocrinologist who's biracial, black, and Japanese. I don't know what that makes me, but I'm beautiful. Like this doll. Come on, I am this doll. Please, Daddy, please, please, please.
Okay, Totes, you're in.
No fair. I want to be in the video essay too.
I'm sorry, sweetie, but I'm out of dolls.
Vicious.
Yeah, she's intense. But, so, what exactly are we doing here?
Well, I want to discuss Londi T. Martin and Adela Seelig Kona's article, Remix as Unruly Play and Participatory Method for Impossible Queer World Making. They write about appreciating play in our work as a source of possible joy and as a method for queer world making. So I thought, what the hell? Maybe it would be fun to be playful and approach this video as, well, a play.
Okay, but why the fuck are we dolls?
Is your man bun pulled too tight? Be patient. All will become clear eventually. But first we gotta unpack the article a bit.
Yeah, we're not completely abandoning the moves of academic discourse.
Martin and Licona embrace playfulness in academia as a way to envision the potential of a queer utopia.
So they're in the Jose Esteban Munoz camp of queer futurity.
Mm-hmm. They view queer multimodal compositions like digital videos that mix and remix bodies, voices, and genres not only as acts of gaiety,
Yes.
but also as a form of social activism and an inspiring political performance.
Work. This campy digital mess is actually doing something really important.
In fact, they argue the radical, unruly, and utopic edge of this play rests on its messiness.
Don't they note that play is an imperfect form of resistance, though?
Yeah, but they admire it. Because even though it stumbles, takes risks, and even contradicts itself, it is working towards a queerer future that may never arrive, but becomes visible only in the horizon through playfully performative dreams of the future.
You've read it?
Girl, you wrote the script. And don't distract from this important point. Munoz's argument for a queer utopia, or rather, an as of yet unrealized queer utopia, calls on us to imagine new possibilities for another world.
Yes.
And playfully queer multimodal compositions are one way to dream new futures into existence.
So that's why we're dolls.
Girl, I thought you said you read the script. No, we're dolls because we're going to take a look at my good friend Tiggy Upland's award-winning work.
Tiggy Upland, the wild deuce.
She wrote Ask Tiggy for the Bisexual Resource Center before moving to her own corner of cyberspace at tiggyupland.com. There, you can find the Ask Tiggy archive, as well as Upland, a bi-themed webcomic of miniatures starring Tiggy Upland, and Tiggy Goes to Jail, about Tiggy's experience volunteering for the Massachusetts Bail Fund.
Daddy, don't forget our book.
Oh, yes! Advice from a Wild Deuce, the Best of Ask Tiggy, winner of the 2017 Bisexual Book Award for Bi Writer of the Year.
Snap!
Totes! Her work is amazing. She works within a genre familiar to readers, the comic strip, which renders the world in a series of temporally discrete frames, but she queers the genre by constructing these frames with dolls and diorama sets. The use of dolls and dioramas, a familiar elementary school art project, gestures to a youthful playfulness and naivete.
And subversively strips Barbie of her heteronormative ideology and puts girlfriend in a pink wig in service of queer futurity.
Yes! Tiggy constructs a world in miniature where bisexual besties hang out with trans beauty queens and friends from around the world discuss issues of gender and sexuality.
But Tiggy doesn't just hit you over the head with primers and polyamory.
No! The fun of Upland is that the politics come packaged in this hilarious sitcom serial set in a Boston hostel visited by travelers from around the world. Her deployment of genre and comedic sensibility makes me think of Martin and Licona's discussion of an aspirational normativity that indexes an affective both-and space where subjects simultaneously gesture toward a hope for the impossibility of a better future that never quite comes into view.
Lauren Berlant thinks of aspirational normativity as a kind of hope for a better life that makes sense even as it emerges from seemingly senseless spaces of abjection. So, could you think of dolls as an abject representation of the body? Like the body has been rejected and replaced with plastic forms.
Girl, yes! And only through these plastic forms can a queer utopia be constructed?
Yeah, kinda. But Tiggy's not just a doll. She's construction paper sometimes, and sometimes she's a flesh and blood person. Tiggy moves off the screen and onto the dais, moving her activism from cyberspace to the physical world. So she playfully constructs a queer utopia framed in a series of stills and a webcomic that she then embodies in physical spaces. I mean, Tiggy Stardust sends her bi-advocacy through time and space.
That's deep.
Yeah, it is. Dismantle that biphobia, sis.
But that's not all.
Oh, no, honey. Tiggy reminds us of Martin and Lincona's argument about the coalitional potential of playful digital compositions.
You mean the Tiggy Goes to Jail series that exposes injustice in the bail system?
Yes, and girl. Tiggy describes Tiggy Goes to Jail as a webcomic project that's different from Upland. It's not a serial and rather serious. It's meant to be read thoughtfully, maybe more than once. But even in Upland, Tiggy was calling attention to prison reform.
Both in the narrative and with hyperlinks to outside information and to organizations like Black and Pink.
Yes, that's so key. Tiggy discusses prison reform as a queer issue. Tiggy doesn't exist just to educate her fellow wild deuces or to advocate for bisexual and gender nonconforming people. Tiggy's multimodal compositions reminds us that queerness is not just about sexuality, identity, and pleasure, but also about building coalitions to dismantle all forms of oppression. But ask Tiggy, and she'll tell you that can be pretty fun too. And that, y'all, is some irreverent rhetoric.
She's a small wonder, lovely and bright and soft curves. She's a small wonder, a child unlike other girls. She's a miracle, and I grant you, she'll enchant you at first sight. She's a small wonder, and she'll make your heart take flight. La 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 la. She's fantastic, made of plastic, microchips here and there. She's a small wonder, brings love and laughter everywhere.
Discourse.